Hey everyone. So I often see people struggle a lot with shading flowers. And although, shading flowers can be a bit tricky, it can help a lot and make it a lot easier for you if you use some really simple techniques and concepts. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 simple tips with you that I believe can really help a lot with your shading of petals and flowers and leaves. Actually, this can apply to a lot of different forms, but in this example, we're going to be looking at flowers. So of course, I have to give you guys an update. I am working to make my pen and ink drawing workbook be available this summer. I'm really working hard to make that possible. I designed it to complement my pen and ink drawing book, and it will have a combination of over 100 drills and exercises to really help develop your skills and techniques and to be able to practice and apply what you learned. All right. And again, thanks to those of you who have supported my book so far. It really means a lot. And for those of you who have taken the time, as I've said, to leave feedbacks and reviews and Amazon, Goodreads, I really appreciate you going out of your way to do that. It really means a lot. And it really shows me that you appreciate what I do, so thanks so much, guys. Okay, so first, it's very important to see flowers as three-dimensional. We oftentimes tend to see flowers as flat shapes, almost like a cutout. So to do this, let's think of a petal first as a type of a flat sheet. And then we'll add a little bit of thickness just to make it seem more three-dimensional. Now let's make this sheet malleable, so it's like we can fold it and bend and warp it into space. And from here, it's just a matter of molding it like clay into various shapes and forms. See, because I'm thinking of it not just as a flat shape, but I'm thinking of it as having depth. It's coming to me and away. And from here, it's just a matter of just exploring this. So now I'm not thinking about a petal. I'm just thinking about 3D shapes. I'm just making up shapes here. I think this is something you should definitely practice doing. See, I'm drawing this little edge just to remind me that it's three-dimensional, It's not just a random curving shape. It's actually a three-dimensional form. Of course, when you're drawing a flower, you may not necessarily have the thick edge here, but I'm doing this in practice because it helps to remind me that I'm drawing a three-dimensional shape, a three-dimensional form, and not just a flat shape. See, it's turning around in space. You see, this is making you think of top, underside. You see, it's facing to the right, turning over to the left. You're thinking about this as three-dimensional. And this is why I'm using the edge. It really adds a lot to it. Next, we practice to trace the curvature of these forms that we have drawn. So like I mentioned in my tutorial on cross contour lines enable us to describe the curvature and three-dimensional shape of objects. So for flowers and their petals, this is especially effective. So let's apply this to the shapes that we have drawn. Now, we can draw cross contour lines that describes the shape of this form, the curvature of this form. You can draw a variety of cross contour lines. You see, I'm using lines that go in this direction, lines that go in this direction. You can use lines that go like this, as well as you can draw lines that go in the opposite direction. However, it's important to pay attention to the orientation of a form when drawing cross contour lines. You see, so these two forms are oriented differently. Same form, but they're facing in different directions. So as a result of that, your cross contour lines have to, or should, reflect that. It should accentuate, it should emphasize the orientation of the form, not just the form's shape in itself. And it's important to draw cross contour lines just like you would on the a globe, like long lines of latitude and lines of longitude. So here you actually use lines, just draw lines that you think accentuates this form. And I advise that you do this exercise over and over until after a while you'll find that you will naturally use lines that will accentuate the form that you're drawing. So third and last is we incorporate light and shadow. Say we have a spherical form. First, identify the light source. So once we can identify the light source, then we can identify, of course, the areas that are in light and areas that are in shadow. Areas in light are light in value and they face the light source. Areas in shadow are deep in value and they face away from the light source. So here's a flower I just sketched, and let's say we're going to apply the concepts we just discussed to this. And first I'm going to just do a quick outline of this flower, and then afterwards we're going to apply the shading. So this is where the light is coming from. All right. So that means, imagining a little, ball like this, the shadow is going to be on this side and the light is going to be on this side. So we can already tell here will be in light, here will be in shadow going towards light, right? Here will be in shadow, here will be in light. That's the basic concept you want to apply towards this. So first I'll just do the outline. I'm going to be thinking of the light source here. So for example, like with this petal, naturally it's turning over, so that means the sides that's facing the light source will be in light, and the areas or light, the sides that's facing away will be in shadow. And of course I'm just using hatch marks here, but you can use cross hatching, stipples, whatever type of mark making you're comfortable with. Okay, see like here for example, where it folds over, I am thinking about where this is facing. This is facing this way. So I'm going to leave that light. In the same way here is facing up, I'm going to leave that light. You see? So those are basic ideas you can use to guide you as you, determine how you apply value to a given area. So you see, once you keep these basic principles in mind of thinking of the petal as a three-dimensional shape moving across in space and over in space, you see it is not a flat shape, it's actually three-dimensional. Then once you can see that, then you can easily start incorporating the cross contour lines that are running over this. And this then makes it a lot easier to apply light and shadow, because it helps you to think of, okay, where is facing the light source and where is facing away from the light source. And then where is facing away, you apply shadow. Whereas if facing towards the light, you apply light value or nothing at all, especially when it comes to pen and ink drawing. But if it's pencil, of course, the lighter values will be where the form faces to the light. The deeper values will be where the form faces in shadow. Okay, everyone, so I hope you found something you liked in this video. And if you did, remember to give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, remember to subscribe so you can be notified of new uploads or giveaways or announcements. And as usual, thanks so much for watching. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.